Hey everyone, this show is brought to you by Driffel's Jerky. Are you like us and love beef jerky, but hate paying those high prices for subpar meat? Well, at drifflesjerky.com, they have the money meat.
You said the money meat?
That's right, the money meat. Great tasting beef jerky made from top quality cuts of beef at great prices. Use promo code franchise tag to get yourself 10% off on your order today.
That's DRIFFILLS jerky.com. What's up, everybody? It's Aaron and Ray back again with another episode of Franchise Tagged Fantasy Football Podcast. As you can see, Ray made it back from behind enemy lines alive and well. So, Ray, we're going to need to know a little bit about how the trip was. Just an overall quick synopsis outside of all the external factors. How was it?
Well, are we talking about the game or not the game?
Both. The whole trip as a whole.
The whole trip. Minnesota as a whole has the worst customer service and the worst Uber drivers I have ever seen in my life. And I'm sorry if that's you. If that's you, I'm sorry. But
that's a shot there, boy.
God, we couldn't find anywhere to eat that had more than one server working when a full bar or something like that. It was crazy. And we almost died in an Uber ride, like twice. But one specific time where I actually had the sweats in the back seat.
Why because did he have the sweats?
He didn't have a seatbelt, and I was sitting middle, and this dude, not kidding, an inch away from hitting so many people going 60 miles an hour.
Oh, he didn't have an actual middle seatbelt, and you were sitting in the middle? Why did you sit up front?
Because he had it closed up, like he had it buckled down.
Like, you can't sit here, but you're gonna die when you sit in the middle.
And he's not paying attention to anything. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
What the heck, man? Okay, anyway, so tough. I'm kind of glad I missed that trip.
No. The game itself, the stadium, maybe the coolest stadium I've ever seen.
Yeah. The whole top's like glass, isn't it? Like see-through?
They like all open, like the doors that when you walk through, they all open up like sideways, and they're huge. They're like 150 feet tall. They're huge.
Well, that seems nifty.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Outside of that, if you're a Vikings fan, I'm sorry, but I'm going to burst your bubble real fast. They're pumping in fake crowd noise, 100%. We're sitting there like there's like 115 decibels or something like that, and no one around us is yelling. Nobody. Within like an eyeball's view, I can't see one person's mouth moving. And I'm like,
really?
They like pump in fake snow, like it's like the Disneyland snow. It just falls on you almost the whole game. And that really annoying horn. This is just a Packer fan of me now. That annoying horn. I wish somebody had hacked that thing, like make it say "Go Pack Go" or something like that.
Oh, man.
Let's get somebody on that. Can anybody do that, please?
Anybody, please, anybody. So overall, would not go back again, huh?
Nope. Okay. Glad I went, and that's the last time I got to go.
Okay, that's what's up. So, anyways, quick question of the day, Ray. You got one?
I do. Remember back when we had when we had a start and sit episode about a couple days ago?
I mean, if you refresh my memory, probably, but typically I forget what I say after we stop recording.
Was there one person that you started or sat specifically though, that you wish you wouldn't have sat?
Michael Thomas.
That one's tough.
Jalen Waddle.
Okay. Any more?
Out of all the leagues, no. I mean, that's pretty much it. It was in the league with Eric that I sat, I think, Michael Thomas and Jalen Waddle on the same side.
I'm pretty surprised. I'm pretty surprised that you didn't say Cordero Patterson because you gave him the business.
When?
In that episode.
Oh, maybe I did. But I mean, I didn't expect it. And also, is Damian Williams? He also went out with an injury, so he was the only one there.
Hopefully for a speedy recovery and then a release from the Falcons. Let's hope that.
You're just looking for your own personal gain on some fantasy upside. So let's not get carried away.
No, I think mine. I don't know. I was thinking about it on the plane ride home, and I was like, man, I really wish that I would have been a little less bullish on T. Higgins. And I understand he got hurt, but that's pretty tough.
Thinking about it now, I wish that I would have stuck with my original Jahan Dotson take. You can vouch for me on this. And I said I'm actually editing the show doc live right now. I wish I would have stuck with that and not let you try to sway me. Because, boy, howdy, I would have been 2 for 2 on home runs.
Now,
on the Darrell Henderson and Jahan Dotson.
I think the last one is I just had it in my head and I forgot it. I forgot who I was going to say.
Bah,
Guess it must have been a
bah,
lie.
bah.
Anyways, what do you got for us today, Aaron?
Oh, hey, I won $25 more on DraftKings.
Oh,
I'm telling you, man.
well, let's put that in the piggy bank for next season so you can get out with us, hopefully Chicago or Philadelphia.
First time ever I placed in one of those Millie Maker things. So, anyways, what I have for us today, Ray, I should say, we got a little week one reactions, not overreactions. We're recording on Monday, so I've heard enough overreactions today to last me up until next Monday. But we're going to do that. And then as we're recording this episode, will come out on Tuesday. So we are going to give you guys some waiver wire targets. I am going to go ahead and put an asterisk at the top of this. Waiver wire targets that we are going to talk about will not include the Seahawks versus Broncos game. So please pay attention to that game tonight and use your best judgment to figure out waiver wire picks from that. Due to our having to have real normal jobs because we can't quit yet, we can't record Tuesday before waivers would close out and get all the episodes out, unless you guys want to watch this at 10 o'clock at night.
Now, I'm going to caveat on that. If you'd like some more content like this, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about. And please help us grow this channel because, like Aaron said, I would love to do this full time. See, it ain't paying the bills.
I would like to just sit at my computer and dive into stats and highlights and replays all day long and give really in-depth daily episodes. But as of right now, we can't do it. So anyways, reactions, Ray, to week one. You want to start?
There's a lot of games that just blew my mind. That specifically the game between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. One blew my mind.
All right. At the end there, especially.
Yeah, but I think that was probably one of the better games. But one of the wildest situations that happened was Dak got hurt last night.
Dak did get hurt,
and that offense already didn't look good.
Yeah, and I don't want to start with this subject. I want to come back to this subject.
I'm sorry. Go ahead then. You go ahead.
No, that's fine. Bad. I want to finish on that one because it's probably the one that's burnt most into everybody's mind.
Recency bias.
Yes, correct. The Jags offense looked really good against a Washington Commanders defense that's supposed to be middle of the pack. Not necessarily great, but when Chase Young comes back, they will be pretty good, I think, because they were getting pressure. I know it's the Jags, and everyone's like, oh, it's the Jags, it's this, it's that. But that was turned into be a better game than I would think. Christian Kirk looked really good. Trevor Lawrence looked good up until the end when he made the boneheaded rookie mistake of just trying to huck it down the field instead of, living to survive another day at the end of the game. Robinson, what's up?
The only person I thought out of that game that didn't look good, that was probably in somebody's starting lineup, was Travis Etienne. And it wasn't necessarily because he himself didn't look good. It was that James Robinson looked better as a runner, and Etienne had a chance for a touchdown and just let it go right through his hands.
Yeah.
So he catches that touchdown, he's probably looking pretty good too. It was probably all viable starts.
That is fair. That is very fair. And Zay Jones looked pretty good too, as like the number 2 in that offense. Marvin Jones came down with some big time catches that he needed on like third down conversions and stuff, typical Marvin Jones stuff. But they did look night and day difference from last year. The Commanders,
Carson Wentz looked night and day from what he was in Indianapolis. Now, I'm not saying he was, world beater Carson Wentz. I'm not saying that, but his accuracy was much more improved than what it was in Indianapolis. His decision making, while still Carson Wentz-esque, was better. And some of the throws he made, which Carson Wentz has always had flashes in the pan kind of throws. But some of these in this last game were like, hold on here. And then he'd come out and throw a Carson Wentz ball.
Yeah, that is fair. And then I did say Jahan Dotson. I'm actually, like I said, I changed my mind and said I'm going to sit him until he shows that he can do it. He showed that he can do it. Even though it was only 4 for 40, but he had the 2 touchdowns, so if they're going to look at him towards the red zone and stuff like that, then that would be someone that, especially in your 12 team, if you're looking a little weak in the receiver because maybe you went running back heavy early, or for example, the 16-man league that we know we have some viewers that watch, I would be going to try to get him.
If he's not drafted, yeah.
Yeah. So he did
I would
it.
also like to point out that Terry McLaurin is clearly the number one in that offense, and he's the one that Carson Wentz wants to go to.
Yep. Curtis Samuel looked good. Antonio Gibson looked pretty okay. J.D. McKissick surprisingly didn't get as much work as he did last year, so that is a good sign. I think that's maybe because the whole Brian Robinson before the season kind of started. But I feel like that's probably all we should talk about that game.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Yep. So do you want to talk about Kansas City?
I sure do.
Okay.
How does Mahomes do it? How does Mahomes do it? So, really, out of the starters that they have out there, I think that CEH is pretty valuable at this point. He looks involved. He looked good.
Yes, I would agree.
He looked efficient. Obviously, Travis Kelce doing Travis Kelce things.
Yeah.
And everybody else, they're just going to eat into each other.
Yeah, I would agree. Mahomes threw for 360 yards and 5 touchdowns. Kelsey went off. Tight end won this week, obviously, in fantasy scoring formats.
Mhm.
But like you said, CEH had 2 of them. One was a designed play to him towards the goal line for touchdown reception. Manufactured touch there, I think more so for Patrick Mahomes than himself. But yes, all of the other pass catchers, they're probably not going to be very viable. They're more of a wide receiver room who is DFS plays. You kind of call your shot on one of them that's cheap to try to win some money.
I think Juju still has a safe receiver 2 floor, a very back end receiver 2 floor, but I wouldn't want to rely on him. If you can make a move, if you can make a trade, I want to bring up a couple trades that I'd like to target here. I might want to try and move on, try and get an upgrade there, but he's probably going to ended up being a receiver 2 at the end of the season.
Okay. If you feel that way. Another thing is the Cardinals defense looked bad. Cardinals look pretty not good. Keenan Allen got hurt. Keenan Allen got hurt with a hamstring. Mike Williams underperformed. Gerald Everett looked like a stud free agent signing at tight end for them. Something to monitor with Keenan Allen. He's supposed to have an MRI today to see just exactly how bad it is.
It still hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. So, Justin Jefferson is how you say good.
He's either really good or, man, the Packers are in a lot of trouble. One of the two. But as the person that was at the game, I could tell you he could have caught 20 passes. He was open.
You could
every
see it. You could see it on TV, right? There was no one within like a 7-yard radius of him most of the time.
There's a lot more plays you didn't see.
It would be him on the screen, and you would not see anyone in white and gold around him in the same television scope.
Eric Stokes looked rough.
He looked suspect a lot last year too. So
let's hope that changes around.
As I say, let's hope we don't have a Kevin King light on our hands.
I don't want anybody to panic about Adam Thielen. I don't want that. It's okay. Justin Jefferson is going to take the Lions' share of work.
Yeah.
And all this talk about like Dalvin Cook having an off game, he still had almost 100 yards on 20 attempts.
Yeah, and the thing is everyone's like, oh, he panic on Dalvin Cook. He didn't score.
Yeah, he didn't score, and they didn't have to pass him the ball. Because Jefferson was open every play.
The thing too about you say they don't have to pass him the ball. They did manufacture him touches with the running back screens. So there is a thing to look at there. He's going to still get his work. Jefferson is going to get his work. They're going to be the main 2 focal points. Adam Thielen will also, when teams finally get smart and decide to double Justin Jefferson and try to actually make them get beat another way.
Make Kirk Cousins make a decision.
Yeah, Adam Thielen will probably come into more of a bigger role. So
yeah.
Saquon Barkley appears to be back.
Yeah.
Like really back. So if you drafted him in the late 3rd where he was falling to, congratulations, because knock on wood, let's hope nothing bad happens. But dude stays healthy all year. He's going to be back in the top.
That's kind of how I think Daniel Jones is, I guess, a safer quarterback. Not in fantasy. He's not a fantasy viable quarterback. Don't hear any part of that I'm not saying. But I think that he's definitely a viable back-end quarterback starting in the NFL when he doesn't have to have all of the work on him.
Yeah.
Because he look bad.
I agree. Sterling Shepard, apparently the Achilles does not affect wide receivers like it does running backs.
Apparently, the Achilles just only affects Cam Akers now. That's it.
Fair.
Only affects Cam Akers.
He went to the wrong doctor, huh?
Yeah. He got the wrong Achilles put in.
He was the test dummy for all the rest of them. Like he went and got the new surgery that gets you back quicker, and the rest of them followed suit, and they've since refined the
maybe he got like a grandma Achilles or something like that. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe yeah. The cadaver happened to be a 99-year-old woman.
Yeah, it's already shot. Nah, I don't know. Saquon did look good though. I will say.
Yeah. The top receivers who switched teams: AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. They're still good.
Mm-hmm.
They're still really good.
Is AJ Brown's, I guess, target share, his volume, all of that, is it sustainable? Do you think that this is the Philadelphia Eagles offense?
I think Devonta Smith gets a little more involved as the season goes on and they start to get a little more comfortable with him being there. But as of for this game, I felt that it was Jalen Hurts is, I'm going to read number one. AJ Brown, he's not open. I'm going to run the ball.
I'd really like people to start tempering their expectations on Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I would too. To be fair, right? Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, and Jalen Hurts all had a rushing touchdown, all within like the 2-yard line. But it's because either A, Jalen Hurts got tackled at the 1 or 2 yard line from running it in, or B, AJ Brown caught the ball and literally got tackled at like the in between, anywhere from the 5-yard line to the end zone.
The gold zone.
The 5 zone, yeah.
Yeah, that was I think that his Miles Sanders and the rest of them really, but Miles Sanders specifically. I'm not targeting them in a trade. I don't think that's going to be a weekly thing. I feel like that's a trap. Just hear what I'm saying. I think that's a trap.
I think that if you watched any of that game and you saw when they were on the field and who was on the field, Kenneth Gainwell will take that job.
He's a 3-headed monster.
It is, but Kenneth Gainwell
or a 4-headed monster. Let's just call it what it is. Jalen Hurts is going to be taking the ball as well.
The top runner on that team too.
Yes.
But yeah, Kenneth Gainwell, when he did catch the passes, looked really well. Looked really good.
I thought Hurts took a step as a passer.
I would agree. But yeah, he's just going to have to start going through his progressions more. Go 1, 2, and then if they're not there, then tuck it and run. That can't be your. He did it at college too, though. So, where that's what we're hoping to see take a step forward. Devonta Smith got 0 targets for 0 yards or 0 receptions for 0 yards. Like I said, he didn't get the ball thrown to him though. So hopefully that will change.
Player update. Just that you guys know, Kenneth Walker is out tonight. I know that this is going to come out tomorrow, but I just saw it right now, so might as well say it. Kenneth Walker is out tonight.
That's who I spent some fab money on. Hopefully he'll come back. I just needed depth at the running back, so I took him because someone dropped him. So, but anyways, the Colts are going to have to actually run the football with Jonathan Taylor to win ball games and close them out. I
don't think that it's a secret. I'm pretty sure this isn't a hot take. Matt Ryan doesn't look washed. Matt Ryan is washed. That's what everything I just saw.
Michael Pittman will still be viable, though. If he's the only person he throws to, he's still going to be good.
Think circa Deontay Johnson with Ben Roethlisberger. That's exactly the comp that I would like to make, except for Michael Pittman's like, I don't know, 8 inches taller than him.
But really, I mean, to be fair, Deontay Johnson had that beautiful one-handed catch on the sideline.
I know, but I wish that he would have had a touchdown with it too.
That's fair. So yeah, they're gonna have to run the ball. Ruben, this one goes out to you. DeAndre Swift is an elite talent. DeAndre Swift would be a running back, finish as the running back 1 through 3 if Jamal Williams wasn't there to vulture touchdowns, or B, DeAndre Swift was on a better team.
Okay, so
okay.
I have to just bring this up.
Okay.
Swift has not finished a season yet where he did not get hurt.
We're week 1 into it. We'll see.
do you think that the amount of work that he got is sustainable for the season? If his track record says that he can't do that, because that's what's happened in the
Yeah,
past.
I feel like it is just strictly because inside of the 5-yard line, Jamal Williams got 7 carries where he only got 2, right? And that's
He did get
typically
2.
where, that is typically where if you're going to get rolled up on or get your ankle rolled or take a punishing hit from somewhere or be at the bottom of the pile and get hurt, that's where it's going to happen because they know you're going to want to try to pound it in.
Now, I think, honest to God, that in deeper formats, maybe even like a shot at a DFS, they have a pretty weak rushing matchup. Jamal Williams isn't a bad start in deeper leagues. I think he is. Because, anytime they're getting I think that they've figured out getting to the red zone, give it to Jamal Williams. He's got a nose for the end zone.
Yep, that is fair.
So,
and they do like Jamal Williams there too. We've talked about it before. So
yeah.
Next, I know we're covering these quite quickly. That is Leonard Fournette's backfield in Tampa Bay.
There's nobody else.
Rashad White is not a thing. He came in at the end of the game in garbage time, but that's strictly because Leonard Fournette had touched the ball 20-something times for 127 yards, plus another 3 receptions for 10 yards. So he touched the ball 25 times.
It's basically like last season with Ronald Jones there, but now Ronald Jones isn't there. Yeah. So now it's Gio's job is now Rashad White's job.
Yep.
And Leonard just has the whole backfield to himself.
Yep. And literally he just came out because the Bucs knew the Cowboys couldn't score. The game was winding down. They were not trying to risk an injury. So with that being said, Dak is out. We're on this game now. Dak is out 6 to 8 weeks. Had to have surgery Monday morning for his thumb. CeeDee Lamb had 11 targets from Dak. Caught 2 of them. CeeDee Lamb looks
targets.
Bad. No. They weren't good targets. CeeDee Lamb looks bad. He's got to figure out how to catch the football. Even if it's in tight windows, you still got to catch it. The rest of that wide receiver core and that wide receiver room looks awful. We'll see when Michael Gallup comes back what happens, but they look bad. Okay?
Dalton Schultz might be a little more valuable now, maybe, because they're going to have to be doing these checkdowns. He's going to have to get involved. But I'd also like to bring up that this is a 60-40 split between Zeke and Pollard.
Okay, so I agree. 60-40 split. They're both averaging 5 yards a carry. And yet, I understand you are down, but when the game's 6-3, 9-3, why are you trying to force the football down the field with the pass rush that's been in your face the whole time when you have 2 running backs, not 1, but 2, who are averaging 5 yards a carry? So, with this being said, the current Dallas Cowboys under Mike McCarthy are the exact equivalent of the 2016 to 2018 Packers under Mike McCarthy. You have 1 superstar wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams. You have an above-average quarterback in Dak and a superstar quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, right? You have good running backs that can get the job done, but you don't want to use them. And then you have a slew of mediocre, no-name wide receivers or washed-up wide receivers that you're constantly trying to force the ball to. You're not getting anywhere or doing any exotic formations or doing anything to kind of throw the defense off.
I was going to bring that up.
You're just literally lining up in 11 and 12 or 11 personnel and throwing into the defensive backs. Like, what is going on? Mike McCarthy is doing the same stuff he did in Green Bay.
It's all predictability. And McCarthy is so milquetoast. This is probably the last year that Cowboys fans have got to deal with him. Honest to God. And so
is that a bad comparison, though?
But no, I don't think it is. And I also don't think that Jimmy G is the answer either. I don't think that that's a good trade for them to make. I feel like that's stupid. They weren't looking good with Dak on the field. I don't think it looks any better with Jimmy G. Now, I do think that Tampa's pass rush is probably higher up on the echelon of pass rushes. I get that. But, there was times where people were not being touched on that line. And Dak literally couldn't even finish his 3-step drop. Same with Micah Parsons on the other side, honestly.
You have a injury-riddled offensive line, right? Everyone's talked about the offensive line and when Trent Williams went down. In the NFL, it is easier to run block than it is to pass block. And you saw that firsthand in last night or Sunday night's football game. If you have two running backs that are averaging 5 yards a carry and marching down the field with them, and then you start passing, you start getting into bad situations where now all of a sudden you're taking a sack, and instead of it being 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 2, you're now at 3rd and 9 because you took a sack when it was 2nd and 3. Like,
Yeah,
you're in a bad spot, and the game wasn't out of hand. Like it was 6-9 forever, and then 12-9 going into early in the second half. Like it was not out of hand. Run the football. It gives Tom Brady less time to do what you need, and it gives you a chance to at least stay in field goal range and kick field goals and keep up with them kicking field goals. Suck up missed too.
Yeah. It was an ugly game all around, honestly.
Exactly, but if you go down as the Cowboys and you go down the field and you kick a field goal and you make 2 of the field goals that suck up miss, it's a completely different story at this point in time. Then all your defense has to do is bend and not break, like they were doing, except for the one drive where they got the touchdown to Mike Evans off the deep shot to Julio.
I'm kind of mad that I was a little off of Mike Evans, too. A little upset about that because he looked pretty good.
Yeah, so that's my take on that one.
No, I think those are all valid points. I don't really have a whole lot else to add except for the fact that Tampa's offensive line looks extremely suspect, specifically in the red zone.
Yes.
So, and I understand that the game got out of hand at the end of the game, but Tom Brady was on his back a lot, specifically in the 20s.
Yep, and Tom Brady was not looking too happy with his offensive linemen quite a few times. So it's just one of those things. I think that's probably why Lenny looks so good too. It's because it's easier to run block than it is to pass block. But I think Tampa will get it figured out before the Cowboys do. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, Aaron.
So, Ray, you want to jump into the waiver wire?
That's exactly what I want to do. So I apologize for this being such a quick format and how we're getting through all these games. We're going to polish this up throughout the season. We're
just because Ray was gone being selfish from all you guys.
I'm sorry. I won't let it happen again, I promise, because I can't afford it.
So we'll jump into the waiver wire here real quick. The first two most important things, right? Chances are you have a little bit more depth at running back. So we're going to start with the quarterback. And if you're a team that happens to have Dak Prescott, you are going to need someone to replace Dak Prescott for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And realistically, I would probably just drop him to waivers and try to pick him back up later, especially if you're in a fab system, because you should be able to outbid people. I'm not going to clog up my IR spot when chances are you might probably have a running back or a wide receiver that took an injury this weekend that might need to take that spot that are more valuable than that. So for replacing Dak, Ray, or just picking up if you're streaming quarterbacks, which you shouldn't be this early in the season anyways, but who are you targeting here?
So it's going to be so gross, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
I don't want it to be gross, though.
It is gross, but it makes sense. I'm going to paint a picture for you guys.
Okay.
Look.
Be Vincent Van Gogh right now, please.
I don't know. I think I'm Vincent Van Ray. I think that's what it is.
Michelangelo, the best Ninja Turtle.
So my waiver pickup, and it basically a streamer for a little while, is probably Carson Wentz. The reason why I'm saying it's Carson Wentz is, one, he looks like he's taking a step. Two, those receiving options probably a little better than what he had in Indianapolis. Probably a little better. Because he doesn't just have Michael Pittman, he has Terry McLaurin, he has Jahan Dotson, he has Curtis Samuel, I guess, apparently. So all that being said, they're probably also going to be chasing a lot because of the decisions Carson Wentz makes. So he's just going to have to throw more and more and more.
You did see that this weekend.
And I think that would be a viable start in most situations. Now, if he's playing the Texans, I don't know what his schedule looks like yet. But if he's playing the Texans or something like that, or a really weak offense, apparently not the Texans. I take that back. A really weak offense. Maybe the Packers. The Packers offense. I don't know.
There's an overreaction.
That's tough. It hurt me a little bit.
Overreaction.
Yeah. I think that if he's in a shootout, he's a viable quarterback that has weapons that can get the ball in the end zone.
I can see that. My number one target for replacing Dak Prescott is Kirk Cousins. If Justin Jefferson is going to do that, and this new offense is going to be what I think this new offense is looking like it's going to be. And once again, don't want to overreact too much. Packers always pretty much start off slow, but I do think that they are going to force feed Justin Jefferson and actually let Kirk Cousins throw the ball, and he didn't. Neither one of them looked bad. So Kirk Cousins is probably he is my number one pickup to try to replace Dak. So if you are the Dak owner, please go out and try to get Kirk Cousins.
I would assume that in most leagues he's not drafted, and I'm telling you right now, and like I had called in our ranking show, Justin Jefferson's going to be the number one receiver. If he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be the number one receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I called that too, and I also called Kirk Cousins as a top 12 quarterback for fantasy purposes, even though you said I was crazy. So,
I still think he's trash. I don't care. I still think he's trash.
So, anyways, after that, a couple more notable options are Derek Carr. If he cuts
as
down
bad as he looked,
yeah. If he cuts down on the interceptions, Devontae's still 11 targets, 140 something yards, and a touchdown. If Derek Carr cuts down on those interceptions and quits negating the touchdown points for interception points in fantasy, he's going to be fine.
Or just keep throwing to Devontae.
I mean, that's what he's going to do.
Yeah,
Darren Waller dropped a touchdown too, I believe, on an out route.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota.
Looks like they're going to be in shootouts.
Not necessarily saying play him next week against LA, but I am saying keep him in mind for streamer consideration later on in the season when we start to roll into bye weeks and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Looks like he's still got his legs there. So
he looked fine.
He's not going to go torch the world like he did when he first came into the league, but
yeah,
he'll be all right.
I don't know if he torched the world. I'm also interested. I understand that the game was sloppy. It was gross. Throw the San Francisco and Chicago game out the window. No one should have been playing in that nonsense. They should have just been running the ball the whole time. And I think Justin Fields is a viable start. And how the Packers defense looked this last week, I think that you could do worse. They couldn't stop anything. So
I would agree. Yeah. Look for the Niners offense and the Bears offense. Judge them off of this week because, yeah, there's literally a slop fest. All that rain and water.
Don't overreact to Trey Lance. Don't do that. If you saw how bad the field was, there was like an inch or 2 inches of water sitting on top of the field.
Standing water. It's bad when no wonder they're moving because their water doesn't drain out of their field.
Take a look at they've been needing to move out of that field forever.
Yeah, out of Soldier Field for a long time. But anyways, it's going to happen now. That pretty much wraps it up for quarterbacks, sorry. So Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota, Justin Fields, and Carson Wentz. In whatever particular order you want, I would think Kirk Cousins would be number one on that list, and then probably followed by Carson Wentz and then Derek Carr. So running backs, Ray. You want to kick off the running backs here?
I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory for the first one, but
no way.
Yeah, since Elijah Mitchell's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. I think it's already said 4, but plan for 6. Jeff Wilson's got to be the number one waiver wire ad of this week. And how much fab are you willing to spend on him? What's your running back room look like?
That is fair.
Do you need a running back real bad? I wouldn't be mad at you if you spent $30. If you needed a running back really bad.
Yeah, I can see that.
In a balanced roster where you don't necessarily need one, but you'd like one.
I could see that.
18 to 20.
And I know Kyle Shanahan gets it done a lot with no-name running backs, but you haven't seen Jeff Wilson with the eyeball test in, you know what I mean, a while. So
it's true.
It's risky business, but I could see why, just strictly because high-paid and top-drafted running backs don't ever work out in San Francisco. The undrafted late-round running backs always work out in San Francisco. So if you're following the way that things typically go, then yes, I could see that.
Like I said, I think in a balanced situation where you're not ultra desperate, probably $18, $20. That 20 is probably my max. I feel a little bullish on that point.
So you're saying anywhere from 12 to 20% of your fab?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're talking about right now, which I do.
You got to buy wins early in the seasons, guys.
I do personally hope, pray. I have sacrificed a few lambs just to get Kareem Hunt in San Francisco so that I can win our league. Because they would just give me the trophy at that point. But
Stop it. We would not.
I think you should. But until that happens, Jeff Wilson's a starting running back in the NFL. And if you get a starting running back in the NFL off the waivers, you're looking pretty good. I.e., Cordell Patterson last season, or
would this be a get Jeff Wilson, but maybe spend $1 or $2 on Tyrion Davis Price at the back end in case you don't get him to see what happens, just in case it's not Jeff Wilson at the end of it.
Yeah, that could be something. I think Tyrion's definitely another name to throw out there, but
you're definitely not spending a lot of fab on him.
And Kyle Shanahan's a guy that would like to go with familiarity, I think, first. But
Kyle Shanahan has also been known to put people in the doghouse and play the hot hand.
It's true.
So
now you're talking me out of this fab thing.
Just 15%
saying, max. 15% max if you don't absolutely need a running back.
Okay. Next up, I'm gonna say this one just strictly because he's probably rostered in, I would say, if I had to guess, 65% of leagues. But there are some leagues where he's not going to be rostered, and it's going to be James Robinson. Please check your waiver wires. If he is there, put in a claim for him. Spend some fab. This is a guy that I could see spending 20-25% of my fab on, just because I don't think that they were like 51-49 in the splits in Jacksonville. And as you said earlier, James Robinson looked a lot better than Travis Etienne. It might change by the end of the season.
Between the tackles.
He's a downhill runner. But for beginning of the season, just talked about it. You got to buy your wins. So if he is out there and available, you need to go try to get him, because you could literally plug him in as a flex play right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because he looks more electric than he did before.
I don't know.
I swear to God,
I don't get it.
He's never been a shifty guy. He's never been able to move around. But Sunday, he looked good.
Yep.
I don't know.
Don't know either. Next up, Ray.
All right, so this one's for deeper leagues, those 16-man leagues, 14-man leagues. Even in a 12-man, I wouldn't be mad if you rostered him. But Jamal Williams is definitely a name that you want to have if you have an extra spot in your roster and you got a hole burning in your pocket. Jamal Williams, cheap fab if he's on the waiver, $5 maybe $8. That's max. 8 is absolute max.
Yeah.
But I would think that that's a very viable player to have on your roster. You know, DeAndre Swift goes down, Jamal Williams is going to get a lot more work. And he's looked good. And he's the red zone running back. 100%. Yep. He is.
As of now, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So next up, he got a little overlooked to begin draft season just because a rookie took most of the hype. But next up is Michael Carter. Michael Carter looked good. Breece Hall is still a rookie. Typically, yes, they'll fill in perfectly fine. Rookie running backs are good and viable. But Michael Carter did look good. Just go check, see if he's there. I know he got drafted in some leagues he didn't. Don't spend a lot of fab on him. Don't waste your number one waiver priority on him either.
Check to see if he's there in free agency.
Yeah, let waivers clear, see if he's there in free agency, if that is the case. But if you are with fab, spend $1, $2, you know, three if you're feeling real frisky and think that he's going to be great. But just real quick, he's something to fill in just to get you by. Go ahead, Ray.
Real quick, actually, we should have led with this to begin this waiver show. And I apologize if you guys have been listening to this point and don't understand what we're talking about. Fab is a monetary-based, or I guess fictional monetary-based dollar amount that you have a budget for the season to claim waiver additions off of the waiver wire. The free agents in your
correct. It is
in your league.
Free agent acquisition budget, meaning you spend that money to pick them up.
So usually you got $100, and what we're saying is that a percentage of that what should be going towards X player.
Yep. And we use percentages rather than specific dollar amounts because, say, I've already spent money and I only have 88 fab, but Ray still has his full 100. 15% for me is a little different than 15% for him.
Yeah. I try and throw dollars in there too, but sometimes it gets a little confusing with how much you have left because it's important to have some at the end of the season as well.
Yep, you always want to go in with about $5 to $7 going into your playoffs just in case you need to pick up a defense to keep them away from your opponent. Same with the quarterback, something like that. Anyway, so now that we have plugged the fab because we kind of forgot, what do you think about wide receivers?
There's a few. I know that you have him in for your deeper league selection, but I don't think that's necessarily. I think that you can pick him up right now. Devin Duvernay, You're not spending a whole lot. You're not burning your first waiver wire priority. But Devin Duvernay, he looked the part. And
He did.
Lamar looks good. So
He's playing for the bag.
yeah, he turned down the bag for more of the bag. He would like more in that bag. The greenbacks.
That is fair. I would like to talk about that next episode because I don't want to get too off the rails on this one. But anyways, yes, Devin Duvernay. I like that one. I'm going to skip around here, Ray. I think people should be going to look and see if Christian Kirk has been drafted in their league. 13 targets, 10 receptions, 130 yards, I think. Looked really good. Mm-hmm. They paid him also paid him the bag, and he is involved.
Yeah.
Also go look and see a little bit, not going to be as much production, but Zay Jones as well from the same team. I don't think Zay Jones got drafted near as much as Christian Kirk did, but Zay Jones, 6 receptions, 65 yards. It's good for me. Yeah. Especially in PPR leagues, that's 12.5 points.
And I think they have safe floors because Jacksonville's most likely going to be trailing in a lot of games.
Yep, I would agree.
I guess my next guy I would like to talk about, because Keenan Allen is down, Josh Palmer, a guy that I'd really like to go pick up. And I understand that we didn't see it this last weekend. I get it. But Josh Palmer's flashed before when given the opportunity. And if Mike Williams is only getting 4 receptions in a game, I want a piece of that offense. And I think that he's flex worthy until Keenan Allen comes back.
I agree. I mean, to an extent. I think that Mike Williams will step up. Yes, he's still going to disappear because that's what Mike Williams does, but I feel like he's going to step up more, and we will talk about another waiver wire addition that is on the same roster in just a few minutes. Yeah. But I can see where you're going with that one. So DJ Chark, I took late round shots on him in a bunch of the mock drafts that we had this year too.
I called you foolish. I did.
He's gonna catch some balls till Jameson Williams comes back.
I think he looked good.
Yeah.
He had a really nice touchdown catch.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah.
But Jared Goff.
I'm just letting you build my argument for me. So I'm just
Jared Goff keeps them out of games. So there's that.
That is true as well. But
he actively keeps them out of games. It's crazy. But then, he just doesn't. It's so stupid. I hate Jared Goff.
What if Matt Stafford were back on the Lions still? Would they be better or worse?
Is it like last season Matt Stafford, or is it this season what we just saw on Thursday night Matt Stafford?
Let's say a mixture of both, because Matt Stafford did that sometimes last year too. So
this last week, I don't want any part of Matt Stafford.
I want no part of Matt Stafford.
That was gross.
Stinking team.
Yeah. Don't give up. Don't give up yet.
You know what sucks? One roster I had Matt Stafford, and then another roster I had Dak Prescott.
That's tough.
I got 15 total points from 2 leagues worth of quarterbacks.
That's tough.
Oh my goodness. So anyways,
you know what? I'm so sorry. I have to backtrack one more time. Going back to quarterbacks real fast. Another name just came to my head. Jameis Winston.
Good on you.
I'm so sorry that I forgot that. I completely left my mind.
Speaking of which, Jarvis Landry, look at him, same age as Michael Thomas. We both discovered that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He 7 for was it 130?
Something like that. No, it wasn't 130. It was like 103. It wasn't 130.
7 for over 100, okay?
Yeah, it wasn't 130. Let's pump the brakes. There's no way. If you say 130, I swear I'm hanging out this
I'm betting it right now, but go ahead and
let
me know.
Let me talk about one more receiver here on my side here. Robbie Anderson. Again, none of these guys that we have mentioned outside of Christian Kirk, I'm spending really any fab on whatsoever. Christian Kirk's on the waiver wire. I'm spending some good fab, maybe like $12. I want a piece of that now that I've seen what that offense looks like and how they're probably going to have to throw a lot. Is it 130?
114.
Oh my God. Split in the middle. Come on. Round it down. Anyways, any one of these guys we've mentioned in the receiving core, not spending a lot outside of Christian Kirk. Robbie Anderson is also like that. I would not spend a lot for him. Maybe $2. See if you get him, because this could be a flash in the pan, or this could be the new norm. Who knows?
I don't know.
What do you got?
So you ready to go tight ends?
Oh, you don't want Curtis Samuel?
Oh, Curtis Samuel is still there as well. Kind of like Ray said with Robbie Anderson, might be a flash in the pan, or it could be a new norm where they all three just get really involved and they all do really well.
Because Carson has to throw a lot because their defense can't stop anything now.
Yeah, pretty much. So, anyways, tight ends. I want to lead off with this one. Please let me lead off with this tight end.
Go ahead.
Gerald frickin' Everett. Dude exploded. I mean, it might be strictly solely because Keenan Allen went out, but guess what? Keenan Allen is out for at least a week. They had the Thursday night game this week, by the way. So he's not going to play in this. I will tell you that much right now.
I don't know. He's if he's having to have like a MRI for a hamstring, that seems like it's a little more serious than just a typical. Oh, I pulled my hamstring. You usually don't get an MRI for that. So we haven't heard any news yet, but that doesn't put any confidence in my brain. Exactly. I don't feel warm and fuzzies because of that.
Go pick him up. Go get him. Go out and get it. And if you are streaming the tight end position this year, he might be the one that you can snag off waiver wires and not have to stream the position the rest of the year.
How much fab would you use on him?
It's a tight end. 8 to 13%, depending on your roster construction. And if that's the sole thing that's holding you back, you got to take your shot on it, right?
I was lower. 6% is the highest I'd spend. But I hate all tight ends, so except for the top 4.
Same. So.
And I guess all right, so the next guy, I might spend maybe up to 10. Maybe. Again, if that's the one thing holding me back. If Taysom Hill's on your waiver wire, who else do you have that you can plug in?
Going with that.
Who else do you got that can have 80 yards rushing and touchdowns, but he can go to the tight end position? It's a cheat code.
It's ridiculous that he gets to do that, but it's the cheat code's wasted on Taysom Hill is what I'm trying to say. Right?
It should be Cordell Patterson. It should be Score Daryl.
It should be someone like Cordell Patterson, or could you imagine if like Joe Mixon got to line up at tight end, but then was still a great running back or someone like that? You know what I mean? Just something where it makes more sense than giving Taysom Hill the ball at running back.
I feel like you got like some sort of call that Jordan had, that running back that he put at tight end like years ago. This was years ago. You don't remember that?
Oh, yeah. I remember.
It's a Pittsburgh Steelers running back that had never played a snap in the NFL at tight end, but he got to put him in there, and he almost beat me, but he still lost. I remember that. That happened.
Yeah. But anyways, it's just...
If Taysom Hill's there, I'm probably spending about 10 fab. And again, is he going to have, 80 yards rushing every week? No. You're going to be able to find a tight end on the waiver wire that's going to be able to give you 5 points?
2 passes, though.
I'd rather catch 4 passes than 4 rushes.
Same. I'd rather have 5 receptions for 80 yards instead of 5 rushes for 80 yards like he did.
Unless you're playing a rushing point per rush.
Point per
rushing.
Yeah,
point.
1 half point per rush or what?
That sounds
dumb.
Yep, that sounds dumb. Don't do that.
So anyways, I'm not so sure about the last 2, Ray. I know they were kind of in your wheelhouse here. There's only one tight end that I want, and it's Gerald Everett. So go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, or Taysom Hill if he's there. Right?
Maybe.
No? Okay.
No, I think I would rather have Robert Tonyan over Taysom Hill.
Oh my
God. If we're being honest. Just strictly for, like we said, the reception upside and touchdown upside of Robert Tonyan.
So I know that David Njoku has burned a couple people now because I've been hyping him up a little bit.
Yep.
I get it, but that game was weird. He was on the field almost 100% of the snaps. I'm not going away from him just yet. I'm holding him. But if you don't feel that, if you don't feel comfortable with it, I get it. Last week sucked. Tight ends suck.
Yep.
So there's that. And then, do you want me to talk about Robert Tonyan?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So it was pretty clear that Robert Tonyan is going to be involved in the passing offense.
Yep.
And I think that his floor is probably going to be about 5 receptions a week.
Yep.
Because of the lack of options outside of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
Definitely.
So he's probably the person that I would feel the most confident starting outside of Gerald Everett and maybe Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is like the upside, but he's probably the most confident I would be in the waiver wire selection of tight ends that you can get.
Outside of Gerald Everett, of course.
outside of Gerald Everett. And even then, I don't know. Gerald Everett's probably more involved. Who knows? What's that offense?
I smell a bet.
You don't get one. No thanks.
Dang it.
No thanks.
Why?
I don't want it.
Because all my other bets are so solid, it scared you off for the rest of the year?
I don't know, Aaron. It doesn't seem like it right now, but who knows?
Oh, but it does. I don't even remember what we bet on. You write it down?
Yeah, I got it somewhere.
What do you mean somewhere? You're supposed to know.
It's somewhere. It's somewhere.
Oh.
I promise.
All right. Well, it's somewhere. That pretty much wraps it up, Ray.
I got one more thing.
Oh,
I got
what's
two more
your
things.
one? Okay.
I got two more things.
You got. Can you do it in 30-second ad read? Got it.
Sure.
Oh, I'm just
No.
kidding. Go for it.
One final thing about this last week. AJ Dillon has arrived. Just remember that. Just know who told you. It was me. He's arrived. So there's that.
And 1A, Rodgers wasn't lying when he said the rookie receivers need to hold on to footballs.
He went live. Outside of that, the only other thing I have is if you've made it this far, please hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share. Let us know what you think. Drop something in the comments. Sorry, my voice sounds like this. I was trying to scream my face off, but we were losing anyway. And yeah, until next week, Aaron. That's all I got. Oh,
Hey,
sorry,
guys.
next episode.
Next episode, right?
Next episode.
We're pumping out some episodes each week now. The season's actually here.
Yeah,
As Ray said, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell on YouTube. Please follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. We are always over there. Same time these release, they release on those other two platforms as well. User engagement has been really good on the YouTube channel last week. So you guys are kicking butt and taking names on getting us out there. And we appreciate y'all and love y'all very much. But as always, Ray, until next time, we will see you later.